let's say you did all that research
Mm-hmm.
and everything was the same, but you had a different occupation.
Right.
Would you still be at 100?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. So what was your name?
My name is Charles.
Charles?
Yep.
Okay. Good to meet you, Charles. I'm David.
Nice to meet you, David.
Did I explain kind of what we were doing okay, or do you need more clarification?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
As long as we're talking about real estate, home
Real
ownership,
estate, okay.
yeah, I'm good.
All right. So, what is a truth claim that we can explore about real estate? I think there was something about like home ownership.
Yeah.
What about home ownership do you think is true about our shared world?
Well, it's the quickest way to build generational wealth.
The quickest way to build generational wealth?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And how confident are you about that?
Very confident.
Okay. If we took us like on a scale 0 to 100,
100.
you'd be okay, 100% confident? It's pretty high.
It's pretty high.
Quickest way, right?
Or should I say one of the quickest ways? I'm sure there's other quicker ways, but I believe it's the one of the quickest ways. Or the quickest way, whichever one you got, whichever angle
Okay.
you want to go.
Are you 100% confident that home ownership is the quickest way to build
Generational wealth.
generational
I do
wealth?
believe that, yes, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. What's the main reason that supports that conclusion? In other words, what's the reason that if we took that reason away would cause your confidence to drop the most?
Well, the main reason I believe it's easier to access because there are a lot of home ownership programs that allow you to get into a house. Once you start paying on your house, if you buy in the right area, your house builds equity, and then you can use that equity to do other investment or to buy more property.
Okay.
So let's say you buy a house in a good neighborhood, you spend 250 grand on it. 4 years from now, when that house reappraised, if you do minor improvements, the house probably reappraised at maybe like 350 to 450. You then have access to that equity where you can refi, pull that money out, and invest in other properties.
Okay. So when you say easy access, are you talking about access to the equity later, or are you talking about access to the
later.
Okay. Okay. All right. So if that easy access were not there, where would your confidence go in your conclusion?
Well, I mean, my confidence is still high because one thing about real estate, it always appraises in value. It always appraises up in value. It may be small dips, but it always, in years, you still, that value still appreciates. And you're paying your mortgage on time, so you're bringing down the value of that house while it's still appreciating. So let's say
Okay.
even if the house didn't appreciate, you paid your mortgage on time for 4 years, that house is no longer still worth 250 because you've been paying your mortgage, so it's now worth less than 250, so you still have equity in it.
Okay. So even if the easy access reason wasn't there, you'd still be very confident. Would you still be at 100?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a reason that if you didn't have that reason would cause your confidence to shift?
No, not really.
Okay. So you're at 100 no matter what happens.
Yeah, because when even if the house doesn't appraise, when you pass, you still are able to will that house to a family member. So if you stay in the house for 30 years, you're going to be making payments on it. So you won't still owe the same amount. And then even when you get ready to pass, you pass that on to someone else, and now they can take advantage of the equity that you already have in the house.
Okay. Okay. So so hypothetically, if we found out somehow that um, every value of every house, give me 1 second while this passes. If the value of the house goes down no matter what, and I know this is just hypothetical.
Well, it does happen, like, 2007, 2008, when the mortgage crisis happened, the housing value did go down. But in a
Okay.
few more years, those same houses that were down went back up. The value went back up.
Okay. So how long would the value of houses have to be lower for your confidence to shift?
Probably about probably about 10 and 15 years.
10 to 15 years?
Yeah. Then it
Okay.
still wouldn't shift that much. Because real estate always, it's like the stock market. It goes down, but it always comes back up.
Okay. What do you think would cause this to change? That that
That the
it,
real
it
estate
goes
wouldn't
up
go
no
back
matter
up.
what.
That it goes up no matter what?
Yeah,
Or did it will?
what would cause that to change? What would cause real estate value to go down and not come up?
That would probably another mortgage crisis, but it'll eventually come back up. So the only problem with that argument is that people are always going to need a place to stay, so they place value on that. So even if the housing value go down, they won't stay down permanently, because somebody always going to need a place to stay, so they place value in that.
Okay. So would it be true that if that changed, if not everyone needed a place to stay,
Yeah, then that would change.
that would
Yeah.
so it
So
would take
that would shape my confidence. If nobody needed a place to stay, it's kind of hard to sell houses.
yeah, well I'm thinking like
And to a
if
certain extent, that's happening. A lot of people believe in renting more than they believe in owning. So to a certain extent, I can see the argument. But the problem is, like, if you rent something for 4 years and you move out, you just moved out. If you buy a house and in 4 years you move out, you sell that house and leave with equity.
so here's a crazy idea. What if we started populating other planets?
Yeah, that would shape. Yeah, that would shape because they would probably want to. If you start populating other planets, they would want to live on other planets,
Yeah,
which
like if we
means
found a planet, somewhere else that's way better than Earth,
right.
it seems like that might cause the value of property on Earth to possibly go down.
Yeah, that would. It would.
Okay, okay. What's the likelihood of that happening?
I mean, anything is possible. We got self-driving cars, so I guess it's possible. It's possible.
Okay. Are you still at 100?
Not if that happens. No, I'm probably at about 75.
75?
Yeah,
If we started populating other planets.
yeah, 75.
Okay.
And if a lot of people, and if there's a mass accident, then it'll probably go down to like 35.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
uh, mm, nah, I think that's it.
Do you want me to link your business to the video?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want to say, do you have like a website or something that you want to
GenesisSignatureProperties.com.
spell that for me?
Genesis, Genesis,
Oh, Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis. And then
Genesis.
signature, like your
Signature.
signature, and then properties.com. And
Okay.
you can link my Instagram. I always need followers.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for participating.
Oh, that was the end of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want to do another claim.
No,
Yeah,
I
we
think
could-
no,
we could
I
do- we
like
could
that
do
one.
something
I
else.
like that one. You know.
Yeah, what I was trying to do is to get you to reconsider the confidence that you have,
Oh,
which is 100.
right.
And I guess I could have asked, like, what does 100 mean to you? Does 100 mean that you cannot be wrong? And I think with the process of the conversation, there is criteria that could cause you to drop, right?
Right.
And so if there's criteria that would cause you to drop, should you still be at 100?
Well, yeah, I guess we proved that when we said that if we could populate other planets and stuff, then that would, of course, cause my confidence to drop because you have more people leaving as opposed to staying. So you know what I'm saying?
And so
less demand.
What's the likelihood that we'll start populating other planets?
I don't think I'll see it in my lifetime, but there's a
No,
strong
we're talking about generational.
Oh.
So that could be down the road.
Well, there's a possibility because they already went to Mars and stuff like that. So, there's a possibility.
Okay, so if that possibility exists in your mind, should you still be at 100?
Like I said, if people start moving to other planets, they would definitely bring, what I'm saying? I would definitely go down from 100. But I'm very passionate.
But you need to see that first.
Yeah, I need to see that first.
Okay.
I'm very passionate about home ownership.
All right.
Very passionate.
All right. Maybe one more question. How much does you being a real estate agent affect your 100% confidence?
A big portion of it, 100% of it, simply because of the research that I've did, and the fact that I know that there are a lot of people who are not homeowners who can become homeowners if they knew the blueprint to home ownership. So what I started doing was workshops where I would have people come to my workshop where they could speak to the people who can possibly affect that change. Mortgage officers, tax professionals, financial professionals, and then I would give them the blueprint to, hey, you do credit score, get your credit score right, get pre-approved for a loan, get your pre-approval letter, get your agent makes the offer, your offer gets accepted, and that's how you become a homeowner.
Okay. Let's say you did all that research and everything was the same, but you had a different occupation.
Right.
Would you still be at 100?
Probably not.
Okay. All right.
Probably not. But I wouldn't be at 100, but I still would be at 50 because I'm a homeowner myself, so I've seen how equity works. I wouldn't be at 100 simply because it's not something I do on the day in and day out.
So it sounds like your occupation takes up a big chunk of your confidence.
It does.
Okay.
As it relates to home ownership.
So why is an occupation a good reason to be confident in a conclusion?
Well, it's a good reason to be confident in a conclusion because it's something that you do on a daily basis.
Well, okay, but you would still have the same information. Say you still had the same information, you had done the same research, everything was the same.
Right.
You just were, I don't know, a dentist.
Right.
It sounded like you said that you wouldn't be at 100 at that point. So what is it about an occupation? Like, generally speaking, is an occupation a good reason to support confidence in a conclusion?
When the conclusion is kind of surrounded by your occupation. So say, for instance, if I'm a doctor, and then we're speaking about, maybe like diabetes or something in the medical field, then my confidence would be high. But if I'm a doctor and we're speaking about soccer and I don't like soccer, then my confidence wouldn't be high.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Well, that was fun.
Awesome. Yeah, it was.
It's really coming down.
questions?
I'm wondering if, like, if you saw a bunch of people that did become homeowners, and then they didn't keep generational wealth, if they lost generational wealth, would that shift your opinion?
No, it wouldn't, because the majority of the reason why they probably lost their generational wealth was lack of information. So as long as they're, you know what I'm saying, educated on the process, you know, it's kind of hard for somebody to be educated on the process and you say, hey, this is how you create generational wealth by passing it down. And then when it's time to pass down and they're aware of how they create, you know what I'm saying, that generational wealth, they say, well, no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to give it to this guy over here. So, you know what I'm saying, if they had lack of information and was unaware, you know, and somebody offered them, let's say for instance, they had a house in their family for years, they don't know what to do with it. Somebody comes in and offers them 20 grand. It didn't cost them anything, so they'll just take the 20 grand. But if they're educated, somebody comes in and offers them 20 grand for the same house, they know this house is worth 200 grand, they're not gonna accept that 20 grand.
So it sounds like there'd be real estate plus education.
That's the key. That's the key.
Yeah. And it sounds like what's supporting the most part of your confidence is you being a real estate agent.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for
No problem, man. Thank you
participating.
guys for your time.
Charles. Real reason check.
Yeah, that was the hardest one in terms of, like, where do you go from there, right?
Well, he gave me the main reason, but said that even if that reason were taken away, he'd still be at the same confidence.
Right.
So I don't want to explore that reason. The easy access reason. I wanted to explore the reason that would affect his confidence if he found out that wasn't a good reason.
And it was the demand.
It was that he was a agent.
You feel like that was, in the end, that was the main one. Yeah, he did say that at one point that was a big impact. Well, he said it was 100%, right? For the reason.
Yeah, it sounded like he would be at 50. He said he'd still be at 50, even if he wasn't a real estate agent.
Right.
And I guess I was just trying to figure out a way to expose the insufficiency, or expose the bias, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
What else would you have asked if you had a chance? I like what you did too. Like, what other?
Yeah, there's
what
like
other
hidden
explanations?
assumptions in there a little bit. Yeah, if the profession was a big reason for it, I mean, you did go down that path of what if you weren't. I'm not sure that. Do you felt like there was a recognition of the bias, or do you think?
I think there was.
Yeah.
Because he kind of chuckled and was like, probably not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And if we started populating other planets, that would be criteria that would cause him to shift.
Right.
But his reason for being 100% isn't because we haven't populated other planets.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. That would have to happen before the confidence would go down.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see a totally different claim, but use the same logic.
Yes. Yes.
And see what he would think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to have a generic claim that would work with that for an example.
Or maybe just ask, is there another conclusion that you're 100% confident in?
Yeah. But then you
And
might
you're
get
not-
off on that topic. so
Yeah,
that's
and
hard
you're
to-
not, and that you're not involved with so much.
Yeah.
Hey, chair's open if you'd like to chat.
Yeah, we're just finished an interview with we do public interviews on any topic you're passionate about or interested in.